Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well. Today is Prime Day 2, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of a different approach to Prime Day this year and be focusing on some products that I actually use pretty much in my everyday life, as well as some game recommendations and 30 free games that you can get for PC right now, as long as you have Amazon Prime, or you could sign up for a free trial. They'll be yours to keep. Links for everything is going to be down in the description below, which helps to support my channel, so I very much appreciate that. Even if you don't buy anything that I recommend here today, then if you click one of those links, I will still earn some money from you buying whatever you happen to buy on Amazon. So if you're going to be shopping anyway, click one of those links and it'll have me covered, and I do appreciate you guys taking the time to do that if you want to support the channel without any extra cost to you. So 30 free games, and then we'll get into it. But first, today's video is brought to you by Keysfan.com and their software super deal, where you can get some of the best prices out there on Microsoft software. Especially with my coupon code, you can get half off of Windows keys, as well as 62% off on Microsoft Office products like Windows 10 Pro, Windows 11 Pro, and Office 2019 Professional Plus and Office 2021 Professional Plus. And they've also got a bundle with Windows 10 Pro and Office 2019 in the same package. To save money on Windows 10 Pro, just go ahead and add the key to your cart, which starts off at $15.17. But once you get into your cart, you can go ahead and apply my discount code at checkout, YTB50, and that will give you a shocking 50% off, bringing the price down to just over $7 at $7.58. And when you proceed to checkout, you can pay with either a credit card or PayPal, whichever one happens to fit your needs. And this also applies to Microsoft Office products, but again, you're going to get 62% off on Office products with the code YTB62 at checkout. Applying that to the $67.40 price, Office 2019 brings the price down to a stunning $25.61. So I don't know what you're waiting for. If you need your software keys, head over to Keysfan.com right now and be sure to use those coupon codes at checkout. YTB50 on Windows products for half off, and YTB62 for 62% off on Microsoft Office products. So typically Amazon Prime, as they own Twitch and stuff now, they have for quite a while, they usually have loot drops and stuff like that, and you might be able to find 1 or 2 games free that'll, change from week to week. But right now for Prime Day, and you only have until the end of today, July 13th, to get these games, but there's 30 free games you can get on there right now, including the fairly recent Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is the remaster of all 3 Mass Effect games, where they did a lot of work, particularly on the older Mass Effect games like 1 and 2. 3, not so much. I mean, they improved the textures and loading times and things like that. But Mass Effect 1 has really got the most care and work, because it needed a lot of updating as far as user interface and player movement and things along those lines, just quality of life improvements that the original Mass Effect really needed. But we've also got Need for Speed Heat on here, Grid Legends. There's some content for a new world if you like playing MMOs and want to have your graphics card blow up. Who remembers that? But we've also got on here Star Wars Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, Star Wars Republic Commando. Pretty much all the games are on Origin, from what I could tell, but there was a couple other ones that were not, but most of them are on Origin. So as long as you link your Origin account with Amazon, it'll redeem the games automatically. So you only have to log into like EA one time and link your account to Amazon, and then you just go through and click and claim all of these free games, which is pretty awesome. To be honest, most of them are like indie titles, not massive bangers, and then some of them are older. Like I said, the Star Wars Jedi titles are a little bit older, but the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and as well as the Need for Speed Heat, the Grid Legends, those are all definitely still fairly modern titles and definitely worth picking up and playing, especially just for the Mass Effect. Honestly, it is really worth just going over to do this if you have Amazon Prime. But again, if you don't, just sign up for like a 30. They have like 30-day trials. All like you can get as long as you've not used it before, or if you just set up a new email, just sign up and get a 30-day trial or whatever, and get 30 free games. So there you go. Next up, this is something I've mentioned for like the last 3 or 4 years, and every time I do one of these Prime Day or Black Friday or Cyber Monday, whatever videos, anytime one of these events come up, I always mention this product, and it's because I've been using it since May of 2018. I had to look up when this came out, and I can't believe it's 4 years, and I am still using the same lineup of mice, the Logitech G305. This is the white one this is actually my second one that I had, and then this is the original one, which still goes strong, and I keep this at my test setup. This is the original black one. As you can see, the logo has pretty much completely faded off at this point. No RGB, which is one of my favorite features about it, not because I'm like super anti-RGB. I mean, I don't really feel like I need RGB. If it has RGB, I'll use it in some cases, but for something like a mouse, I don't really feel like I need it. And because it doesn't have RGB, it is a 250-hour battery life, the Logitech G305. That's right. And it's wireless, but it uses light speed, Logitech's, marketing technology. That pretty much means it has extremely low latency, even better than most wired mice available out there. So the Logitech G305 for 4 years running now has been my go-to mouse, and I have not changed it yet. I've looked at mice like the G303 Shroud Edition, which mimics the shape of the original Logitech G303, which was like my previous favorite wired mouse, and I still have it sitting behind me actually. Still my favorite mouse shape of all time. The only reason I've not pulled the trigger on the G303 Shroud Edition, which is more or less the same type of mouse but with a better shape, is the fact of the battery life. It has about half the battery life, and that's if you disable the RGB. If the RGB's on, it cuts that down by 75%. Down to 20-30 hours, I think it is. And yeah, you could disable the RGB on it and still get, a good amount of battery life on it. But these things take one AAA, I want to say. Maybe AA. Trying to get it off. One AA battery. One AA battery on this mouse easily gets me a year. It's supposed to be 6 to 9 months, but honestly, they last me a year. I've been using the white one for 2 years. I've changed the battery twice. The black one, again, I had that for 2 years, using it actively every day. I think I changed the battery 2 times. It doesn't need to be recharged. You don't have to plug it in every few days and worry about plugging it in or having it die really in the middle of a gaming session. It warns you ahead of time. And one fucking AA battery, which you could also recharge if you wanted to. Like I said, they last me about a year. So that's why the G305 is my recommendation. And the price, $28.49. That's another thing. The G303 Shroud Edition is $100 or more, I think. And this retails at $50, but regularly you could find it for $35-$40. And right now it's $28.49, and not just for the black either, but for all the colors. They came out with a bunch of different colorways for this. They have a blue, there's a purple one, a kind of a mint colored one, and then the white one. I have the black, the white, and I have the purple, although the purple one was confiscated by my fiance, even though she bought it for me as a Christmas present, but then I didn't use it right away, so she's like, well, if you're not going to use it, then I'm going to use it, because I like the purple more anyway. I should have bought it for myself. I was like, well, I don't really think that's fair, but fine, whatever. So I digress. But the Logitech G305, cannot recommend it enough. Still my favorite mouse to this day. I've been using it since 2018. It's amazing, with especially before that, how many different mice I had used and tried out and over the years, and how frequently I would change. And now this, I've been just, I can't imagine changing it anytime soon until they come out with a G303 wireless that is not the Shroud Edition and actually has very good battery life and not the shit battery life that it has. But I do like the shape of the 303 more. Next up, AMD has announced their Raise the Game promo. So this is getting a little bit away from the Amazon Prime Day deals. There are going to be more of those to come afterwards, but this I did want to mention because this was revealed yesterday, and it does kind of coincide with the Prime Day deals, as there are graphics cards you can get on the Prime Day deals that will help you take advantage of this. So AMD and NVIDIA do this from time to time, announcing bundles and stuff for games, usually when they're trying to get rid of a lot of inventory like they are right now because their stock prices are plummeting and they have way too many graphics cards on hand. So AMD has announced this event where they're going to be giving away up to 3 games, and it'll depend on which graphics card you end up getting. Those 3 games being the new Saints Row remake or reimagining, Forspoken, and Sniper Elite 5. So all pretty solid titles. Obviously, Saints Row is not out yet. I don't think Forspoken is out, and Sniper Elite 5 has been out for a couple months. It is on Game Pass, so that's worth noting, but it's also a fantastic game. I love it. And if you want to get all 3 of these, you just need to get something from a Radeon RX 6700 upward. If you get one of these middle tier cards, like the 6600 to the 6650, you'll get Saints Row and Forspoken. And if you get a 6400 or a 6500 XT, you'll get just Saints Row. But like I said, if you get anything 6,700 or higher, you get all 3 games, and those are all like, $50, $60 games each. And, on one of the bottom tier cards on here, and you could find these cards pretty regularly now. They mentioned on here the 6750 XT from XFX is available for $509.99 right now, which is 15% off. And the MSRP is $600 regularly, and the reference model would be $549. So not too bad at all, honestly, to be able to go ahead and grab that. We'll go and pull up the actual card here. The other one on there was the Red Devil. But this is the card right here, $509.99 in stock, can add to cart, and you should get 3 free games along with that, especially once the games come out, like Saints Row is not out yet. So very good deal, and nice bundle if you're looking to pick up a graphics card. Although right now might not be the best time to do it. Next up, a cooking gadget that I have mentioned in a couple of these Black Friday, Cyber Monday type of videos in the past. And it is because it's something that I use at least once a week, I would say, in my cooking. I'm a huge home cook fan, like foodie type of person, whatever. Obviously, I know how to eat food, but I also know how to cook it. And that is the Instant Pot, which is just a really great tool for a lot of things. And typically in the past, I've said, go for the cheaper model. Don't get the ones with the extra buttons and extra features, because honestly, you end up really only using 2 of them anyway, which still holds up, except some models do offer a feature that weren't on older models, like Sous Vide, which is something that I actually find myself using all of the time now and looking for excuses to use it. I follow the YouTube channel Sous Vide Everything and Guga Foods, where he talks a lot about sous vide, and I've tried many of his recipes and techniques, especially for steaks, but all sorts of other foods as well. And sous vide is a game changer when it comes to cooking and making easy weeknight meals. And the Instant Pot, besides sous vide, also using it as a pressure cooker, also gives you great meals. I make all my white rice in here. I don't own a rice cooker. I use this to make my rice. But also, I will say, do not use the rice button. As you can see on here, on all the different features on here, there's a rice button. Don't use that. Pretty much don't use most of the buttons on here. I would say use the sous vide, use the saute if you need to brown your meat and your vegetables before you put it in for a slow cook or for a pressure cook. That I use. And then pretty much mostly just pressure cook is what I use. And then for rice, if you put it on rice, you will have overcooked mushy rice, my friends. It will cook it for 12 minutes, which is just too long, honestly, under pressure. Under pressure. So 10 minutes on the pressure cook for your white rice at a 1-to-1 ratio for something like a basmati or a typical long grain rice that you would find here in America. You do 1-to-1 on the water to the rice. After you've rinsed the rice, you gotta wash your rice, folks. Put it in there, 1-to-1 ratio, so 2 cups of water, 2 cups of rice, so on and so forth, 1-to-1. Pressure cook it for 10, let the steam manually release for about 10 minutes, and then you can go ahead and open it up and fluff up your rice, and it's perfect. And this is on sale for $100, regularly $150. And it's the 8-quart model, which is what I would recommend. If you're going to get one of these things, unless you live in a really, really small apartment or a dorm room and you just don't have room to store this thing, get an 8-quart model. I promise you, you're going to find yourself, if you get a smaller one, you're going to find yourself limited more often than not, whereas with the 8-quart, it just gives you that little bit of extra room in case you need it for a bigger piece of meat, a bigger roast or something like that. Chuck roast. I do a lot of chuck roasts in here. Do this they call Mississippi pot roast. It's basically a chuck roast with a jar of pepperoncinis, a packet of McCormick gravy powder, those instant gravy powders, and a packet of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning. And you just dump all of that in there with the chuck roast, cook it for an hour on pressure cook, and it's amazing. I do take the time to sear the meat first, but I digress. Instant Pots are awesome, and I highly recommend them for $100 over there right now. Next up, Fire TV Stick 4K Max. All the Fire TV Sticks are on sale right now, but this is the newest, latest, and greatest model that I got last year, and it is a little bit snappier. I got it December 3rd, 2021, so I've had it less than a year. And, of course, I forgot to log out of Amazon, I'm now realizing, which means I'm going to have to put black bars every time on the screen when it shows my name and my city over here. So that's always fun to add extra editing work for when I'm doing these videos. Always fun to give myself extra work. But the Firestick TV 4K Max, highly recommended. $35 right now, down from $55. We're cord cutters. We don't have cable. I haven't had cable in over 10 years. And we pretty much use this for everything. I jailbreak my Fire Stick so I can get access to all sorts of stuff. We pay for services too, but there's some things that I want to get access to that you just simply can't get access to over some streaming services and things like that, and different like barriers like from certain countries and all of that. So I just don't like to jump through all those hoops. I have my subscriptions to a few of our base services that we use all of the time, but for some more obscure things that I want to access or we want to access, I use the jailbreak feature for that so that I can get some of those things that I couldn't get otherwise. Certain sporting events, so on and so forth, like the Yankees. Like I cannot watch a Yankees game at all unless I buy cable, because their contract with DirecTV that they had, like exclusive one or whatever, they weren't allowed to like work with any other companies anymore. So even like a streaming TV service like YouTube TV or Fubo or Sling or whatever, or Hulu Live TV, you name it, the Yankees Yes Network is now no longer on any of those services. So you pretty much have to have a cable package or DirecTV satellite package in order to be able to watch the Yes Network, which is fucking unbelievable. And then even if I get the MLB package, which I wouldn't mind getting, honestly, it's $100 for the entire baseball season, which is a pretty good deal, except it blocks in-market games, which means I would never be able to watch a Yankees game. Any game that airs on the Yes Network, I would not be allowed to watch, which is complete and utter horseshit, honestly. I don't know what they're thinking over there, limiting the number of people that could access that. They could easily come out with a Yes Network app or a Yankees app and charge people like $100 for a whole season just to watch the Yankees, and people would pay it. I would pay it just to be able to watch the Yankees, because I don't really care about watching all the other games. But I want to be able to watch my Yankee games. So what the fuck, Yes Network? Bit of a rant, but the Firestick 4K Max is great, and it is worth it, I think, over the regular 4K stick, which I think is $25 right now. It's a little bit snappier. It's in the menus, a lot faster to load and things like that. And yeah. Next up, just a couple of quick mentions before we get out here on the Prime Day deals. We got a lot of SSDs on sale, but if I'm going to get one on sale like this, I'd rather get some actual capacity and get some speed as well. So I would go for the Samsung 980 Pro SSD 2TB NVMe Gen 4, which means this is going to definitely be compatible if you want to slap one inside of a PS5 or your gaming PC, obviously. And they're marked down from $380 all the way down to $194.99, which is awesome for a super fast drive like this. If you are going to get it for a PS5, though, I would recommend getting the model with the heatsink. They also have the 1TB model, though. If you don't want to spend almost $200, you can get the 1TB one for $120, which is still a great deal, and probably plenty of extra storage if you wanted to throw that onto, like I said, a PlayStation 5, or if just for a boot drive on a system or a gaming drive on a system. This thing should be plenty fast enough. And speaking of PS5, a few games that I saw on sale that I was going to recommend specifically for the PS5. So very few of you out there, I'm sure, that actually care about this. But Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, that is down to $30, so that's a really good price. But also keep in mind, you can go buy a used copy of Uncharted 4 and then just get you could find the used copy of Uncharted 4 for under $10, and then you can get the upgrade for $10 digitally. So you can do it that way and probably end up having the whole collection of both games for under $20 just by buying the one game and the upgrade expansion thing for PS5. That's one way you can do it. That's honestly what I did with the Legacy of Thieves collection when it came out a few months ago. And we're still waiting to see this come to PC. Who knows when it's going to happen? But if you want it on PS5, $30 right now, down from $50, and you got the disc copy, which is always nice to have the disc copy. You can lend it to friends. You can resell it. I think there's a lot more value in having a physical copy versus a digital one. So that's something you guys can definitely get access to. And it's an awesome collection. Really great games. Next up, Sackboy Big Adventure. Again, this is regularly $60. It's on sale for $30. It's been out for a little while now, so I've seen it come down to like $30 before on PlayStation Network sales and stuff like that. But I've loved the Little Big Planet games. This one is a little bit different from that, as it doesn't really focus on the level creation and stuff, which I find to be a little unfortunate, as it would have added a lot more content if there was a level editor for the community to be able to make all the levels and stuff like that. But still a very fun single-player or co-op experience. I played this online with a friend, and we had a blast doing it. And there's some also fairly challenging levels, like where you can try to get like timed missions where you can try to get like higher scores and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good game. And last up, before we get out of here, Guardians of the Galaxy, also fantastic game. Did not expect much out of this game, especially after the Avengers game that we saw prior to this. So Guardians of the Galaxy, when this came out last year, I think took everyone by surprise. Honestly, great soundtrack, good voice acting, visuals, everything about it was hitting on all cylinders. Like, this game's a solid 8 or a 9 out of 10. And for $25, down from 60, really not that bad. I own this on PS5 and playing in the performance mode. It's 1080p, pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So it's not like a perfect PS5, game. It would be better if it was 1440p or dynamic, something like that. But it is, I'm pretty sure it's locked to 1080p and it's 60 FPS. So not too bad. At least you get the 60 frames per second. Otherwise, I wouldn't even own it on the PS5. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Again, all links will be down in the description below for everything we mentioned here today. Those are all affiliate links. So if you buy anything, whether it's something I link to or if you buy something afterwards, if you click those links, I get a couple of bucks per purchase, and it helps me to run this channel and pay my rent every month. So that's always nice, and I do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if there's any Prime Day deals that you're aware of that are good, drop them down in the comments below. Let me know. I've definitely seen a lot more deals than just this, but I wanted to focus on stuff that I actually use and stuff I've played, so I can give actual recommendations, not just say, oh, here's a random SSD or power supply that happens to be a good deal that I have no experience using whatsoever. Everything I talked about here today, I have experience with, apart from that XFX graphics card, but everything else, yes. Even the Samsung 980 Pro, I have 2 of those. So everything we talked about here today, other than the AMD Raise the Game promo deal, I've used or use all the time, like my G305 and the Instant Pot or the Firestick. Use all of these products all the time. So that's why I wanted to do a little bit different and a little bit more personal. So I hope you guys appreciated that. And I will catch you next time for another video.